Good day everyone. Today, I'd like to take you on a journey back in time, to the heart of southern Africa, where the stone ruins of Great Zimbabwe lie, a city that once stood as a powerful symbol of African ingenuity, trade, and civilization. For the next 20 minutes, we'll explore the history, architecture, economy, and legacy of Great Zimbabwe. By the end of this presentation, I hope you'll have a new appreciation for this magnificent site and its cultural significance. Let's begin with geography. Great Zimbabwe is located in the southeastern hills of present-day Zimbabwe, near the town of Masvingo. The name, Zimbabwe, itself comes from the Shona phrase dzimba dza mabwe, meaning, houses of stone. The ruins are spread over a vast area of more than 700 hectares, making it the largest stone structure south of the Sahara. Great Zimbabwe flourished between the 11th and 15th centuries. It was the capital of the Kingdom of Zimbabwe during the Late Iron Age. This powerful kingdom controlled trade routes across southern Africa and connected with the Swahili coast, the Middle East, and even as far as China. Contrary to colonial myths, this city was built by indigenous African people, most likely ancestors of the Shona. For centuries, it was a hub of politics, religion, and economy. One of the most striking aspects of Great Zimbabwe is its architecture. There are three main architectural zones. The hill complex, this is the oldest part and served as the royal palace. Built on a rocky hill, it likely had religious and political significance. The Great Enclosure, the most iconic structure, with walls up to 11 meters high and 250 meters in circumference. It's made of granite blocks fitted together without mortar, a remarkable feat of engineering. The valley ruins, these were likely residential areas, where the common people lived and worked. The construction techniques used in Great Zimbabwe demonstrate not only craftsmanship but also a deep understanding of stone masonry, urban planning, and resource management. Great Zimbabwe wasn't just a political center, it was also a sacred site. Archaeologists believe it may have housed a spiritual elite. The hill complex contains soapstone bird carvings, which have become national symbols of Zimbabwe. These birds possibly represented ancestral spirits or held totemic meaning in Shona culture. Ceremonial practices, ancestor worship, and possibly rainmaking rituals were all part of life in Great Zimbabwe. The site was both a physical and spiritual center. The people of Great Zimbabwe were skilled traders. They traded gold, ivory, and cattle in exchange for luxury goods such as Chinese porcelain, Persian glass, and Arabic coins. These items have been found in archaeological digs, proving a vast trade network. The city also had a sophisticated economic structure. Cattle herding, mining, agriculture, and craft production supported a population estimated at over 20,000 people at its peak. By the 15th century, Great Zimbabwe began to decline. Several theories attempt to explain this, including exhaustion of resources, especially overgrazing and deforestation, shifting trade routes to the north, political instability, or overpopulation. Eventually, the capital moved north to the Kingdom of Mutapa, and Great Zimbabwe was largely abandoned. When European explorers first encountered Great Zimbabwe in the 19th century, they couldn't believe that Africans had built it. Colonial historians created false narratives suggesting it was the work of Phoenicians, Arabs, or even ancient Greeks. These ideas were rooted in racism and a refusal to acknowledge African achievement. Thankfully, modern archaeology has debunked these myths. Scholars have since confirmed that Great Zimbabwe was built by Africans, particularly the Shona people, who still live in the region today. In 1986, Great Zimbabwe was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This recognition underscores its global cultural significance. Preservation efforts continue to protect the ruins from erosion, looting, and environmental threats. The site is now a symbol of national pride. Zimbabwe, the country, took its name from these ruins upon gaining independence in 1980. The soapstone birds from Great Zimbabwe are featured on its national flag and coat of arms. Great Zimbabwe challenges stereotypes and rewrites history. It shows that African civilizations had complex political systems, monumental architecture, long-distance trade networks, rich spiritual and cultural traditions. Understanding sites like Great Zimbabwe helps combat the colonial legacy of historical erasure and gives rightful credit to African contributions to global heritage. To conclude, Great Zimbabwe is more than a pile of ancient stones. It is a powerful reminder of African history, resilience, and creativity. From its impressive architecture to its economic power, and its cultural richness, Great Zimbabwe deserves to be celebrated and studied, not just in Africa but across the world. Let us continue to support research, preservation, and education about this incredible site, and ensure that future generations never forget the legacy of Great Zimbabwe. Thank you for listening.